Hey guys, it's Bear again. Just coming to you tonight. I wanted to show you some of my handguns as well as some other options that you could get with basically your 1911. Also wanted to discuss in particular, this is a Safariland holster. Let's see here. This is custom for my Glock. It also handles all those other handguns, and those are the models. Basically, I just kind of wanted to do a review on it, basically because I think this is absolutely by far the most phenomenal holster that I have ever purchased, and I've purchased a lot of them. Basically, the finish and the workmanship on this are very well done. As far as the ability to handle different types of handguns, I would have to say this is definitely top rate. Let me go ahead and just show you what I mean. This is my Kimber Custom Classic. Sorry. Basically, I just want to show you there is no mag, there is no round in the chamber, and we'll go ahead and just slide this guy in there. Now, these screws right here, you can basically adjust the detent. There is a little spring inside of here that will go ahead and grab onto your barrel. Right now it's set to loose just because basically I have this one currently set up for my Glock. It's actually a little bit tight on my Glock. So here's my Glock. Wanted to just go ahead and do a safety check on this. No magazine and nothing in the chamber. So as you can see, fits my Glock perfectly, and there is the trigger guard right there. And basically, I mean, that's pretty snug. I mean, that thing's not going anywhere. Basically, I have it set up for that one. Wanted to also show you my 357. There's my Taurus. Sorry, I just closed it up there. But just wanted to show you no rounds. There's none in the chamber. And boy, if they'd ever give you enough time to go ahead and make videos, you know, instead of this 10 minutes, you wouldn't have to always rush through stuff. But as you can see, holds that puppy very snugly, and basically it's got this really nice suede lining. I mean, that stuff is really soft, and you know, I've used it on multiple occasions and it does not scuff, unless if you know you happen to get something that is sharp, or you know, some fibers or something that might get in there and grab onto that. It does not rub off your finish. I mean, this is just excellent. There is a leather outside. This is Kydex. It also comes with a belt loop holster, or belt loop attachment as well. Not sure of the model, whether or not if it states that model 568834112. I believe that's the model number. There it all is, in case if you want to go ahead and you know, pause it or something. Just basically says Safariland concealment, and I don't see anything else on here that states what model it is, that, or what specific name it is. As for some aftermarket parts, this is my Kimber Custom Classic. This is our Classic Custom. Sorry, I always get those backwards. There's the Kimber, and there is the Classic Custom. My own personal mods, I did have these handmade. Have an end brown back strap as well as magwell and a compensator. I don't ever use this, as well as these whenever I go out shooting. Here's the original rosewood that come along with it. They're a little bit beat up. And then I do have some other ones that are the scrimshaw. I love the feeling of these. They feel a lot like ivory. Basically, this one is Semper Fidelis, the Marine Corps stamp, and this one is the Grim Reaper with his Sith, or can't remember what those things are called. Those are made by Hogue. Let's see here. Other things. These are shock buffs. These are basically made for your slide, so you just insert them right up near the muzzle, the end of the muzzle, and they go on the inside, and they reduce felt recoil. Those things are superior to anything that I've felt as far as felt recoil. This thing, really, you don't feel anything. I've never used it, but everybody that does, I do have some friends that have them, and they say that they don't, they don't notice any difference. So, I mean, there's really no purpose for these in a 45. Let's see here, what else did I want to go over here with you guys? I'll be doing a full review on all of my handguns. I do have a rifle, a 22 rifle, a 22 kind of assault weapon rifle, as well as a 12 gauge shotgun. That is the Mossberg 930 SPX. I'll be doing those down the road. This is the Glock 17, and this is a Taurus Tracker 357 38 Special. This is an excellent gun for the value. Basically, I just kind of want to go over this a little bit more. I did pick this up at my local gun shop, Green Mountain Guns, and they are great guys. This was on consignment, and I managed to talk the guy down to $425. Basically, it came with 3 mags. Talked him into paying the tax and everything else, and I walked out of there for $425 on this puppy. You know, there are some scratches and everything else, but as far as on the finish, otherwise the barrel looked like it had only been fired maybe a couple hundred times. All the mags were, it seemed as though that the guy who had it originally decided to keep all his magazines fully loaded all the time, because the magazines that he ended up giving me with them were, the springs were very weak. But for $425 for a Kimber, I mean, that is just unheard of. You know, walking out of a store with a 1911, barely ever used, except for the fact that this guy probably, you know, played around with it a lot, probably did the slide and everything else. I have made some internal mods myself. Basically every gun that I have worked on myself, watching YouTube videos, Nuttin' Fancy's, you know, trigger job on the 1911, where he goes down to impact guns. Very insightful, and I have, you know, very steady hands, and I know what I'm doing when it comes to grinding. You know, I do all my blade sharpening myself, other than, you know, when I'm trying not to void the warranty. Basically, I did do all the custom work on a 3.5 pound trigger from the original striker trigger, but I did decide to go ahead and order a aftermarket trigger that was I believe 2.5 pounds, but this thing is just so smooth. I mean, I don't really necessarily need to pull the trigger, because I will do a review on that at a later time. I will probably show you guys how it was done. This 357, I mean, that thing is just super soft. I don't know, you know, if you guys can, it's kind of hard to show, but anyways, you know, whenever you're trying to show somebody basically how hard you're pulling the trigger, this thing I have taken to a custom gunsmith, and the trigger on these puppies, he said, is just above and beyond for a production gun that has not had any trigger work done on it. I don't necessarily know how to work on this. I don't want to at this time, because as far as I'm concerned, the gun is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But for the money, I believe I got this for $400. It had never been fired. 400 bucks. And these things retail for $625, I believe. So yeah, I mean, I got it. I basically got it at a gun show. It had been at through a pawn shop, and the original owner just bought it and never fired it. It was a safe queen, basically. Safe queen. He just basically had it, you know, for his safe, so it had never been fired. So yeah, I hope that that Safariland helps you guys out. If you guys own a Glock 17, as well as a 1911, a 357 revolver, I would suggest going out and getting one because it holds all of them phenomenally. And I'm out of time, so I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks, bye.